Hey everybody, hope you're all well. Hope you can hear me okay because I'm using my phone. But I've had a lot of requests to do a video on this thing, which is a dot sight in terms of how it can help taking pictures of fast moving small birds, specifically kingfishers. So in our morning meeting this week at Richard Cook Photography Productions, I had a word with our IT team and I asked them to come up with some kind of high-tech presentation that could illustrate really well how a dot sight works, because I'm not very good at explaining things. So anyway, the IT department have been working on it all week and here it is. Right, so the picture we have on the screen here is what you see when you have a long lens pointed at a bird. Usually you see the bird, some of the branch that it's perched on, and nothing else. This particular bird is the cute lesser cheese-billed egg bird. Very cute. And it's big in the frame. If it flies away, you are not going to be able to follow or track it because you are a regular human who has no superpowers. Now, of course, that can be done. If you have many years practice, people can get good at tracking it. But it makes it very difficult when something that fills the frame like that flies off at a really, really fast pace. It's very, very difficult to follow. That's when an accessory known as a dot sight can be a real help in trying to get better shots. So as I said, this is what your viewfinder looks like, or the back of the camera screen looks like. It's basically just the bird. Very difficult to track. So if you look at the next one, right. So the yellow circle is what you see looking through the glass of the dot sight. You can see our friend, but also the whole tree he is resting in and the mountains behind it. So this is what we're seeing through the dot sight. The blue circle, this thing here, which is the same as this, is what you can see through your viewfinder, and you can only see parts of the branch and the bird. So you're seeing that part of the branch and just the bird. If it takes off and flies towards the nice man with the hair, that's this guy here, you'll be able to follow it much easier. Just make sure you keep the circle on the bird as it flies. As the bird goes this way, you need to move your camera and dot sight, but you just keep this circle on the bird as it flies. But as you're looking through this and not this, you can see where the bird is, and it's a lot easier to move the camera so the circle is over the bird. Right, next. This product is originally for a rifle, but with the adapter rail thingy, it can then go into a camera that has a hot shoe. So I have something like this. It's a cheap thing you can get off eBay or Amazon. There's lots of them. You buy this, which is the rifle sight, and you buy this, which is the adapter. As you can see, that thing on the bottom there goes into a hot shoe, and this thing on top goes into that bit there, and together they then go onto your camera. It can be a bit fiddly, but they work. And here you have, they usually have red and green. So you have green going up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have red going up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they are different powers of light. There's also another switch on my one that changes the type of target. So you can get a circle or a triangle or a square, whatever it is. So there's a few little functions you can change there. Right, next. These two are dot sights specifically made for cameras. This is the Olympus EE1 dot sight, the Nikon DF-M1 dot sight. They're both quite old models, and actually they're quite difficult to buy new. When I'd sometimes check, Amazon doesn't even have them new. But they are expensive, and even getting them used can be expensive. Both new are well over $100, which is way more than you pay for getting a separate rifle sight plus the camera adapter. I'm sure these are more functional and easier to use, and if I get some more money in the future and I use it more, I would consider getting one if I saw a good deal. But at the moment I'm okay with using what I'm using because I only really use it for kingfishers. Right, here we go. This is the circle you can see here. So this is the dot sight glass, and it is glass that you look at where the digital circle, electric circle, battery powered circle is in the middle. Right, so basically this is the view you have when you look through the glass of the dot sight. With the Allen key here, you have these two bits here. if you put the Allen key in there and turn it around, it will move the circle either left or right. If you put it in the top one, it will move it up or down. May sound complicated, but once you get it, it's pretty easy. They come with an Allen key, and I think the ones here, maybe, where is it? The ones here don't need an Allen key. You can probably just switch it, so it's definitely easier to use, but you're paying a lot less money. Right, so use Allen key to move the position of the circle left or right. On my model, there's also a thingy on top, green arrow, to move the circle up and down. Right, so you have to set it up every time you put it on. So you take it off when you finish your session. When you use it again, you need to put it on your camera, and you need to set it up every time. Ideally, you put your camera on a tripod, you put your dot sight on the camera, and you aim it, let's say, at a road sign that's near you. Now, these things certainly aren't perfect, and I prefer not to use them if possible. So with bigger birds, I will just use and trust my skill with my eye through the viewfinder, because you do need to set them up properly. Ideally, you want to put this on a tripod, and then you want to turn on the light. I don't know if you can pick it up there. Turn on the light and then focus on something and then align it. Keep taking pictures and make sure it's aligned correctly. Now that can take time, and sometimes I've only got an hour. I don't want to mess around doing that. So I basically go and find a rock. So something like one of these rocks down here, and I will choose one. I'll put it into single shot, and I will take a picture of that rock using the dot sight. And then I will look at it on the back of the screen and see if it's near the middle or not. If it's near the middle, I'll just think, okay, that'll do. And then I use bird eye detection on here, and I use the large or the mid frame in the middle and hope that picks it up. Now, of course, being that I'm not doing it correctly, that does not always work. And even if you do it correctly with a tripod, there's still no guarantee that it works, because, you know, it's difficult. It can't judge depth, and especially if you've got a zoom lens, you might judge it for 20 meters away, but if the bird's 40 meters away, that's going to slightly change. So they're not perfect, but I do there or thereabouts and then give it a go. And yes, I don't get everything sharp, but the ones that I do get a sharp are better than me just tracking it with my eye through the viewfinder. I've actually got an adapter and the dot sight separately bought. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I've put the hot shoe tightener, I've put it to the end there. When I bought the adapter, it was actually in the middle, and that means that this would actually stick out past the viewfinder. So if I wanted to look through here and then put my eye to the viewfinder, I would stab myself in the eye. So by doing that way, I can look through here, and then I can go here quickly if it's stationary or something. I want to quickly use the viewfinder, because the viewfinder is 100% more accurate than the dot sight. The scenario here is where the dot sight really helps. I know where the bird is. Remember, I am not controlling where this wild bird perches. So in this case, I know which tree it's in, but I can't see its body, and as a result have no idea which way it's looking. So I have zero idea where it will fly or dive to. By placing the illuminated green circle of the dot sight in the vicinity of where I think the bird will dive to. In this case, it's going to be somewhere between A, B, and C. And when the bird first appears from the tree, I will see it through the dot sight, okay? So it's now come out, and I will see it through the dot sight. I don't have to change my position, though, unless the trajectory of the bird is heading to a different spot to where I have the illuminated target. So it's roughly, because it's going to Z, so it's roughly in the same place. In that case, I can see where the bird is going, and the quick change is easy as I'm watching the whole scene. Even if I haven't managed to get into position by the time the bird enters the water, I should be there by the time it emerges out of the water. So the bird enters the water at Z, enters the water at Z, and a simple slight movement from where I was, of the camera gets me into position. All of this would prove extremely difficult with a long prime lens and no dock sight, because this all happens in a fraction of a second. If that perch is sort of 2 meters above the water, 1 meter above the water, this has happened in under a second. If I'm just looking through the viewfinder, there's no way this is happening. But with the dock sight, I can see the whole scene, and I can see, oh, I can see it's come out of the tree, it's going to slightly right of where I'm looking, where my circle is from the dock sight. I just move it slightly to the right, and I'll definitely get it coming out of the water. All of this, however, doesn't mean anything if the dot sight is not aligned with the camera, and that isn't always that easy. This is the reason some people, I think, try dot sights and then give up, because they don't want to go through the alignment process each time. I, on the other hand, blag it and do a quick, non-precise alignment and hope the bird eye detection does the rest. I usually use the mid or large box, but not the all one, because I think that can sometimes pick up other things like rocks or leaves on the water. So I don't think that is as accurate. Congratulations. If you're still watching, that means you've made it through that. You didn't jump out the window and you didn't smash your TV. So all I can say is give yourself a big pat on the back. Thank you so much for sticking through that. I know it was hard work. I think you're probably more confused than you were at the beginning, but I didn't really know how to explain it properly or film it outside. So this is what we ended up with, and rather than not put it out, I still want to put it out because I worked a long time on it. I just will say a couple more things. With the dot sight that I use, and this is an issue with a lot of dot sights, there's a lot of give on the hot shoe. Now obviously there's more give on this one because I have it pointing, you know, the balance is off. If it was in the middle, there would be no issue with balance, but as I said, if it's in the middle, that means that this thing sticks out and it stabs me in the face. So because I have it this way, there is some give. So actually what I do when I align it, I don't even use the Allen key anymore. Because I've used this so much, I know that I've got a mark there on my lens, and I know that if I put this on slightly to the left, so the middle of the dot sight is slightly to the left of this mark here, then take a shot. That's usually in around about the ballpark, and then I move it from there. I don't really worry about the height up or down. I think that's set and it hasn't changed. So that's how I do it. So actually I don't even use the Allen key. I just move this with my fingers just slightly and then tighten it. So I don't know if that works with other ones, but that's how I do it with this one. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If this is your first time here and you've just thought, what have I just witnessed, seeing some weird guy talking about something I've never heard of, absolute rubbish for 20 minutes, I apologise. Please do go out and check some of my other videos, because they're not all like this. Some of them are more fun and I'm out in the field taking photos. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you learned something. I'll now just put a few pictures up that I've taken with the dock sight. They're all of kingfishers. I won't put settings and things. Basically, they were all either at 4,000th of a second, 3,200th of a second. I'm always wide open on the lens that I'm using, and I'm ISO, auto ISO, and ISO is often high with the kingfishers, so I use DxO to remove that noise. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. Take care, please subscribe, and see you on the next one.